I think the first thing we can talk about is how much fun it is to do this work, because we're actually sitting in a wine farm and we're having a beer while we're busy doing work. And I think that is one of the privileges you get as working as a professional, and working as almost, it's not a consultant, but working on this community, bringing everybody together. This is inevitably the environment we want to sit. I always say that I want to work, I want to be in Bali and I want to be on the beach when I do my work. And I think as professionals and as people that are working on other people's skills, this is actually a perfect environment. We are actually at a wine farm working.
Exactly. We're putting in the grind, we're putting in the time, we're going out of our comfort zones, and we are working towards getting you to buy into the system, because I think that it takes us as professionals. We've got the skills, we've got everything that you need. We want to put an awesome team together. We're doing it from the goodness of our heart, and we really believe that the model and the philosophy of how things are actually being done at the moment can be improved. I feel that I don't want to work for a boss. I don't think anyone that's watching this wants to work for a boss. I think that we want to have our freedom. We want to do what we love. We want to know that there's growth, there's opportunity, there's things that we can do together if we apply ourselves together. We want to build this a really awesome system that everybody has a slot. Our vision goes global. It is to do with, getting you or putting you in a position that you get to do what you want to do. If maybe Albert can break down a bit further what the system's going to look like, and I think that's going to give a lot more confidence. I'm more of an introvert. Albert is more of an extrovert. He's still introvert, but we make such a good team, and we just think that putting our minds together. He's really good with operations and business, and he's got massive experience, and I have massive respect for that. From my side, I think all of us at one point had to be in a survival situation that have put us in a position to learn the skills that we have and constantly be good at what we do. But we just need to have the right system that can take that skill and actually allow you to achieve what you deserve to achieve in a friendly, no bosses shouting over you or telling you what to do. We all want to be free, and in the same time we also want to make success and also find sustainability, so like retrenchments and things like that's a thing of the past. Like, you don't have to worry about that. We're all in this together. We're all getting a profit share out of the system, and I think that's what's important, is that when we engage life, like when we went back to school, and school was all about there was such a rigid system and how we had to do things. And I was always a bit of a rebel to that system. I didn't really enjoy that system at all. I didn't agree with it. And I think with this model, after a lot of painstaking, doing business, going through the strides of actually getting to a certain point of success, and realizing that it's going to take so much more, and it takes individuals working together to get to a certain point, that is ultimately going to build success. And if we can do it together as a team and find a middle ground that we are all sharing, and we're all in a position where it's fair, I think that's the most important thing. And for me, any reasonable person that has a good heart would understand this model. It just makes sense. Just like me, initially how Albert and I started, I brought my business and my clients, and I wanted to put it in the system, because we started this thing together, two digital agencies that come together. And Albert brought his clients, I brought my clients, but I was a bit hesitant at first. I wanted to experience the, how's this going to work? What does it entail? I didn't even understand it until I did it. And at some point, I ended up bringing all my clients on board. Albert brought his clients on board. And what we realized through that process is that it actually, it makes sense. It's so much easier when you have the system and other people to work with that, can take some of the workload and do it, even though I'm not getting rewarded financially as much in the moment, but the growth and the idea of having a sales representative, bringing in and constantly working to build for us. He's doing the jobs that we resent, that we don't like. We want to just stick to what we like. I love Facebook adverts. I love that. Albert likes the technical side, the automation, the business operations, and we need people that have all the other skill sets that make this work together. And then we all get to do what we want to do, enjoy this sort of lifestyle, where you can have fun, you can go out with colleagues, get all your laptops together, be in Club Med, or, that's Albert's favorite thing. For me, it's like this vision of being out in nature, working, doing all these things with friends and people. It's not just a business, it's a friendship. It is it's a lifestyle that you want to develop. It is something that most people are not accustomed to.
I've got two philosophies. Number one is that we need to be able to work from anywhere. So today we are having a beer at Spice Root, and you can see the view, and this is our playground. This is where we work. We had a beer tasting before we started this, so which boss is going to allow you that? So this is also talking towards what it is to be kind of a skilled professional. This is what we do. This is what we offer, is that we're bringing everybody together, which is use their skills for somebody else, but we're creating this community of professionals, and this community are very much linked towards making everybody mutual beneficial. I think the first cornerstone of what we do is being mutual beneficial. So we are have the systems in place to automate as much as possible, and our whole model is secondly based on sustainability. So not just for us as professionals, and also having that as being a third leg, which we'll talk about now, but also being able to serve a business community with the same kind of philosophy. I think this is the first buy-in that you need to understand, is the actual buy-in to the philosophy. And the philosophy starts first of all with mutual beneficial. So it is sharing the resources that we get, the money we get, to be able to sustain people and build them up. So you don't become the single entity that's trying to do all the work and you run out of time, but continuously be able to get money on a retainer basis, having the skill you have, and also doing what you love, which is one of the big cornerstones. For David here, he's a Facebook professional. He's a specialist in that field. I mean, he kicks ass when it comes to to Facebook ads. For me, I love business, and it's finding these kind of small things that you enjoy doing, and finding out what you do enjoy and don't enjoy. I think one of the biggest things is to explain the philosophy behind, because it's not a montage. It's not about building a business that's got a certain personality and that. No, it's about a philosophy. And that is probably one of the biggest and most important points if and when you decide that this is for you. We know and understand that it's not going to be for everybody. Like, people have got their own way of seeing, and you see the world as you see it. And this is built on to see, can we find this mutual beneficial world? Can we find this sharing, caring world? And this is the first point of it, is mutual beneficial. So where you would usually work in a bureaucratic kind of business where there's one person sitting on top and that person makes all the decisions, this is not this business. This business uses something called inclusive leadership. So inclusive leadership means that there's no one person making a decision, that the decision is made by everybody. Now, logically, as all businesses, and you need to conform to certain standards, there is an entity that runs this and it needs to promote it. So there is a certain portion that goes towards that. But the 50% of all the profits that comes in from any client is shared between a group of people. So now you don't have this person anymore that goes in and they work by themselves. You actually have this team, so the team is there towards sustainability. And what makes it great, and especially in our fields, in the digital marketing fields, and also other fields that use the services, is that it is based on a retainer system. So it isn't like you're going to work and then once you've done the work, you don't get any pay anymore. No, you don't get any sharing anymore. As long as that client is sustained, and as long as that client is being kept happy, and they can sustain their business, and they stay with us, and they can see the benefits of having a team work on something, that is how long this is going to continue. So the 1 month you might have a bit of work getting the person on board, and there's 3 other people achieving that. The next month nobody needs to do any work. Now, it's like me telling you, come and work for us, which nobody works for us because nobody is actually employed. There's no employment here. We're part of this community that is going to share whatever the benefits are towards sustainability in the community, including sustainability for business. So the biggest businesses fail. They don't fail because of the business. They fail because of people. You know, businesses succeed because of people. They fail because of people. Everything is about people. You know.
Exactly, especially if people are responsible for their own clients. So essentially, it's almost like this hybrid model of entrepreneurship, whereby you are still responsible for your clients, but you are filling a certain role. So if you're a copywriter, if you are a funnel or web developer expert that understands marketing, because more times than not, developers don't understand design and marketing and how it actually all correlates. So whatever expert you are in your field, I think the important thing here is that you are responsible for that individual. And if you are a responsible person and you're working together, then you and your team all are on the same wavelength. We want to attract people like that into this industry. We are not interested in having people that are not like that here. So it's the idea that you get to do what you enjoy, and we've got this LMS system, learning management system, that Albert's putting together now, which is really, really cool. He'll get into it maybe just now. But you get to be a responsible adult, doing your adult things, but in the same time also getting a share of what you deserve to be getting, and that it's not going up and funneling to this like pyramid scheme, as Albert describes it. It's like what we're building here, everything in nature has this pyramid, structure to it. And what we want to do is widen the pyramid so that everybody gets a fair share out of it. I'm using Albert's words. Like, I give him credit to it because that's how he explained it to me. And, when I processed and thought about this, that's exactly what made sense to me.
Yeah, I mean, I can expand on that, and it's very easy. It's the normal business models have gotten society, as we see it at the moment, this high pyramid type of model. It's like your top dogs are on the top. They involve in self-enrichment and getting bigger and better and, more richer on the top. But what's happening in society now is we see that we get this flat out. And so everybody, even middle class and lower class income brackets, they're all sitting in here, and there's this massive amount of people, and I say massive, but 3% of the population that are sitting on top. You're never going to change that model. In society, there'll always be the leaders, and they are the strongest one because they're willing to take the risks and the responsibility. We're just saying, come, let's go together, and we just flatten this model a little bit. Let's just flatten them. We still need all the other systems that makes us what we are as a society. We need business. We can't be without business. It's got certain structures. There's laws and all these regulations. And I always say that this little saying of, accept the things you can't change the things you can, but have the wisdom to know the difference between the two. And this is exactly what we're setting now. So we said, what can we change? What is changeable in business? We've got all these models that are taught in university, and it's all about inclusive leadership. But it still have got one person sitting on top in either self-enrichment, or they sit on this model which not share. Now, there is models like this. It has worked already. If you go to Canada, it's a very much more fair model where this bureaucratic way of leadership exists even less. So this is a new uptrend, and this is the kind of thing that businesses should be built on. It should be mutual beneficial.
Yeah, and plus you want to also have time for yourself. You want to be able to work from where you want to work. If anything that COVID has taught us is that, we can work from home, we can do all these things. We don't have to sit in traffic. We don't have to, waste our time, which is the most valuable commodity that we have, actually. And, I think, Albert really brought these ideas together when, one of the things is that maybe Albert can elaborate on that really got me interested is that his ability on business operations is how these structures actually work. So, for example, like how the sales team work and, how the percentage works with them. And if we look at the different, like a copywriter or what compromises of a team or a department, like Albert actually came up with that structure. So maybe you can talk about that a bit.
I'll do that now. I think let me finish off the philosophy, and then I'll move in that direction. So the one thing about this is the buy-in into the philosophy, number one. And the philosophy, like I've said, mutual beneficial, and it's believing all people are actually good. And it's the circumstances that we lend ourselves to that causes us to do certain things that we have to do. So this is saying, let's build that community. It is built on that. One of the bigger drivers in it is, of course, the performance side of it, that you as an individual that are coming in and you're forming part of these. At the start, we are focusing on digital marketing as the first business. It's already expanded into a business as part of the service offering. But that, say you are a salesperson, you come in, this is what you love. You don't know anything about all these other systems that are in place, but you are good at sales. That's what you love. You love being with people. So the sales manager, he's the account manager, he's the project manager. The second one is, let's say now we need 3 people with this client. This client wants digital marketing. We specialize on very much digital marketing that is built on sustainability and performance. So now we've got a client that wants and he needs a certain amount of people. And we say, no, why get one person to do this? Why don't we find the person that absolutely loves what they do, you know? You get the copywriter. The copyright expert is coming in here and they love what they do and they're doing that. Then you get the person that loves the creative, so they love the creative part of it, and they do exactly that. And then you get the guy that loves the technical stuff, so he enjoys sitting with the AdWords. He's specialist in AdWords, let's say in Facebook or Google or any one of these other social channels. And this forms the first part of it. Now they come in as a team. Who's the leader? So the first question everybody asks, but okay, who's making the decision? I said, no, there's no such thing as one person making a decision. They as a team have got only one goal, and that is to make the client sustainable. Make sure that client, that business that he's giving you part of his life's earnings of his business, he's saying, listen, make me more successful, create sustainability for me. We're saying, let's do that. Let's put professionals together, highly performing, and we make sure that they are actually carrying this forward. And this is how the model works. On the top level, which is of course the shared equity that we do, or the share between the players, the mutual beneficial, is 50% of this money is going towards the teams. We said 50% of the money that's going, it's towards the teams, it's towards the people that are going to be involved in it. And you need to think of the concept of lifetime value, because the concept of lifetime value says that I'll be consistently earning from this person. So now you're a team of 3 people. You're gearing. You got one client, and that one client gives X amount. And on that retainer amount, on that, every month you're going to get money. You might not even do any work for them the next month, or you might not do for 6 months down the line, but you're still going to earn. It's not one person that is hiring you to do a specific job, and when you're done, they're just coining it from your work that you've done. No, we're saying no, that model doesn't work anymore. It's not sustainable, and it's also not fair. So let's take this model, let's make it a sustainable model, sustain the community that's involved in it, highly skilled, highly performance. That is a no-go rule for anything other than that. We have to perform, we have to make sure that it stays sustainable for business. And we can take a ratio, which in average today is, 9-to-1, businesses, 9 will fail, 1 will succeed. We can change that ratio, we can actually make it to the 10 businesses succeed, because people are invested to helping other people. And that comes back to people are good.